Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, my fellow YouTubers. Welcome to another edition of Mary Sky Rita's video blog. I'm Mary Sky. Shout out for Tony, glad you're okay, man. Me and Zoe's been worried about you now that we know Tony's in the hospital. Hopefully you will give us your opinion or your thoughts, Tony, of why you have been in the hospital. For some of you, if you're a comer backer, welcome. If you're new to the channel, give me a thumbs up and hit the like button. So, I have a couple updates for you all this morning. One was pretty interesting. So, this morning I got a message. I just want to quote the message. First of all, stated that year-old Tony was actually, quote unquote, in the hospital. Yeah. And some lady was calling me a manipulated, person. And that Chloe's info was jeopardized. Actually, you're wrong, lady. You see, you want to come here and attack me, but you got your head so far up your ass that you don't know what's going on. Tony, thank you, by the way. I did see your comment, lambasting the person. So, basically, to make this video short and sweet, I want to thank Tony outright. You're poking the bear where, literally. You see, Chloe asked for that paper to be disposed of. She literally thinks they're trying to put her in a group home. She also thinks that they're investigating the fraud thoroughly because it's still active. Case is active. And to me, the case is active. So, plain and simple. You want to sit there and say, oh, you're wrong, Rita, for really. You know what? You can leave and not come back for all I care, Miss Lorelei, because no one gives two shits what you think. You see, my channel, my rules. And frankly, let me just say, in my opinion, this is a channel for everyone to learn and prep, not for you to get your head so far up your ass. I mean, look, basically you want to sit there. Tony, I give you the High Duke Award for basically defending the polar bear. Trust me, the queen is happy. Besides that, I'm unhappy. The comment got deleted too. Me and Higgins were on the phone for 2 hours 15, 2 hours 30 minutes, and we were both talking about it. But we were also talking about Higgins' problem, where Higgins thinks he needs the most best and top of the line radio there is. We're going to talk about some radio stuff at the end of the video. So, coffee time with Rita. I want to tell you guys a story. You see, I miss Zoe, by the way, but I did give Zoe the message before the content was deleted. Apparently, Tony literally, defended me. So, Pee-wee, of course, emailed, basically, said, I'm more proud, Pee-wee, of me basically turning around and literally sticking it under their nose. The main thing is I literally said, maybe they should work with Chloe. I mean, look, we know Chloe's not going to work with her. Chloe might just cancel her appointments anyway. She's afraid. I mean, literally, she's afraid that they're working with the police. She's afraid, but you know what? You got to expect that from someone who literally can't even manage their own affairs. I mean, literally. You want to sit there and Lorelai's like, oh, well, you're using Chloe because of this or that. Really, I'm using Chloe? I mean, literally, I don't make fucking messes, and I go hungry half the time. So if you want to start with me, feel free to. Feel free, Lorelai, to basically sit there and insult me. Because you know what? No one cares, okay? No one cares. Literally, no one cares, okay? Literally, you want to sit there, go and defend Chloe. Good for you. Defend Chloe, who steals food stamp money. Makes me go hungry. And also, just to be on the safe side, steals my fucking money. Yeah, I got concrete proof. I've submitted to the police every time. You telling me, Middle system's broken. Literally, you want to sit there and say, oh, Chloe's information wasn't given. Chloe's legal name is not given. Okay, you don't know what Chloe's legal name is. Chloe goes by Chloe. Zoe goes by Zoe. Piper goes with Piper. We also know what his name is, The problem is, look around. I'm a real person. You want to sit there and say, oh, well, really. That paper didn't leak any information out. What did it leak? Nothing. Basically, it's a paper Chloe wanted either shredded or my ass wiped on and flushed down the shitter. I wiped my ass with it. Why? Because that's what Chloe asked for. She also told me to wipe my front first, then wipe my ass second, and then flush it down the toilet and do the swirlies as you all about. That's how it's all about. I mean, come on, look. We're all here to try to have a little fun, right? The point being is yesterday was frustrating. I mean, literally, the lady wants to tell me what I can and can't do in my house. The lady's not going to even be bothering us probably anymore because Chloe's going to fire her ass. Why? Because Chloe doesn't want to be told that she can't manage her affairs. Literally. Yeah, that might just put her in jail, but at the same time, I mean, literally, you got to ask yourself, how much are you willing to put on, Anyways, can we just get down to brass tacks here, okay? I don't want to be here all day. So, we got radios to cover and the news. All right, 2 pieces of news. I'm going to read you an article today about the railroad strike. This is why you're here. Oh, and so apparently there's 3 other news articles I'd like to share with you today. I think it's bullshit. First one is the guy So basically, they're talking about the Oath Keepers basically being, jailed. Then it said same-sex marriage. So apparently the Senate passed it. Does that mean, let's see, so the House has to approve it. So the Senate's passed it. Okay. So, way to go, Senate, for passing this. Now, if you get passed in the House, it'll be a woot woot, right? So, right here, here's the article we really want. Okay. Let me read this to you. It says President Joe Biden, President Potato Head, I'm a potato head, I'm a potato. Oh, sorry. Hold up. Zoe, come on over here. Is that fresh hair? Oh, yeah. All right. He is confident a rail strike will be avoided while meeting with the top 4 congressional leaders. Through one senator could slow it down. Approving legislation would be such a strike. At least one city is planning to do so. Let me just tell you what I think. I may not like Bernie Sanders, but almost threw up. I think that pie went bad. Maybe, wash it down with a little coffee. We'll continue. I'll tell you my opinion as I get it. I'm trying to avoid getting sick. That's why I want to make soup tonight. Fortunately, my body's getting weaker and weaker. I was gonna go outside, but All right, so that should do for right now. I just want to say thank you all for tuning in today. I blew my nose, and all of a sudden, I was going to throw up. Yeah, tells you right there there's something wrong. Could be another test needs to be performed again. This is the problem I have, is because anywho, thank you for waiting. So, basically, approving it says meeting with top leaders, center could slow down the process of approving legislation with avert such one city is planning to do so. Yeah, so basically Bernie Sanders. I want to say congrats to Bernie Sanders. I support Bernie Sanders, what he's doing. All right. Okay, where's my mids? There we go. I asked the top 4 leaders whether they're willing to come and talk about what we're going to do between now and Christmas in terms of legislation. There's a lot to do, including resolving a train strike. Biden said while meeting with House Speaker Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, Minority Kevin McCarthy, and Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell. It's not an easy call, but I think we have to do it. Biden said the economy's not right. Yeah, but the economy's not right. Fucking government. The government's worried about their fucking economy. So all they're fucking worried about is their measly, meager economy. They don't give a shit about you. They don't care about Fanny. They want to send bombs up in Fanny's Air Force. Fanny's husband's in the Air Force. They want to send bombs up. They want to bomb the crap out of people. They don't give 2 shits about the people. I mean, literally, they're giving extended food stamps. I mean, literally, this is something that needs to be fucking addressed. Literally, think about it. You get up in the morning, you hear some schmo turn around and be like, "Oh yeah, we're national security's on the line for laborers, right?" Well, I'll get to my gripe. Yeah, first gripe of the day. Yeah. Monday, Biden called Congress to immediately pass legislation to avert a railroad shutdown by officially adopting a September tentative agreement approved by labor and management leaders. Rank and file 4 unions have rejected the agreement, but ready to go on railroads without either a new labor agreement or congressional action. So, you know what? If they're gonna say you got to go back to work or else, they're gonna call the union. They're gonna do like the 1877 to the 1900s. They're gonna murder the freaking railroad workers. The president himself is gonna be basically hanging with a freaking sign on his head, not literally hanging, but a sign on his neck saying, "I killed these railroad workers because I'm a dick." Plain and simple. I mean, literally, you think this guy is great for the labor unions? No. He's literally crippling this country within. Literally. The railroad workers are entitled to go on strike, but by Congress, they can't do it. We can force them to go back. Why don't we force Congress to give us term limits? Why don't we force Congress to turn around and basically do their fucking job instead of fucking lining their pockets with gold and telling us that we don't matter in the eyes. As soon as the voting is done and they got reelected, that's all they care about. They don't care about the American people. They like to stain everyone's name. Dirt. Shall I continue? Biden, a longtime labor ally along with Labor Secretary Marty Walsh and other administration officials helped unions and management reach a tentative deal. Yeah, in September. But the point is the problem is, let me just tell the truth. They want their fucking time off. If they're going to fucking work 18-hour a day, 7 days a week because the damn engineers are being forced to, they're better off fucking quitting and saying we quit. It'll take, 1 to 4 years for new engineers. It means the damn railroads are basically rammed down anyways, fully, completely. Then what? Oh, well, I mean, I would, if I was the labor union, I would say, fuck it, and just go on strike anyways. Railroad strike could clog supply chains, lead to a spike in prices on necessary gasoline and food. Yeah, see, they're trying to put the American people first. Bullshit. Dampening the economy that may fear heading towards a recession. May. That's the word, may. Now, many fear is heading towards a recession. Fear is may be heading towards a recession. It could also cost the U.S. economy $2 billion alone per day, according to analysts. No one gives a shit about money. I mean, literally, no one gives a shit. You don't see China worried about it. Yeah, China's got a good infrastructure, but you know what? This country, they would. I mean, literally, the union workers should go on strike. I mean, look, if people started turning around in the union and said, fuck it, and quit in droves, that would make a statement. How are they going to, what are they doing? Knock on your door, you're coming with us or else with guns blazing? Fucking railroad men would fucking get into a fucking firefight with the fucking law enforcement or whoever's trying to enforce the damn thing. I mean, it would be a fucking bloodbath. I mean, literally. But the railroad workers should not be forced to work 7 days a week on peanut wages for fucking delivering supplies when the American people literally are getting what they want, when they want, how they want, at what cost. Higgins and I have been spending a lot of time the last 2 days talking about radios and the Congress thing. I need to finish this Congress thing. Michael Baldwin, president of Brotherhood of Railroad Signalmen, one of the 4 unions who voted not on the deal, said Biden has left the union and its members down. Yeah, you're right. He's basically sitting there going, look at me. I mean, literally, the guy basically sits there and he thinks he's a big man in office. I mean, literally, he basically can't even find the White House lawn half the time. He's probably sitting there going, I gotta find this shit here. Oh, right here. And people are probably video capturing. President Biden acts like dog taking shit on White House lawn. I mean, literally, he's not all there. We're not trying to address an issue here of sick time. But yeah, it's right there, sick time. We're trying to address an issue here, sick time. It's very important. Michael Baldwin, President of Brotherhood Railroads. This action prevents us from reaching the end of our process. It takes away the strength and the ability we have to force bargaining or force railroads in the situation to actually do the right thing. Yeah, and you know what the right thing is? Telling the railroad engineers, fuck it. When they fucking all leave in droves and say, find a new engineer, they could basically be happy flipping burgers, and, being garbage men. Hell, I bet you a railroad engineer would basically be like to do Piper's job where he can drive a garbage truck. Piper would be like, don't take my job, man. Think of it, Piper. If the unions are being shit on, Piper, you would think, Anyways, shall I continue? Pelosi said Thursday the chamber could vote as Wednesday on legislation to adopt a September tentative verbal possible railroad strike. Once passed, Senate can occur later this week or next. Several Senate sources told the Senate the votes to break a filibuster. They have the votes to break the filibuster, avert a potential railroad. Senate source also said there are likely to be at least 10 Republicans, with most Senate Democrats the 60 threshold. After the meeting, McConnell expressed openness to backing the legislation, told reporters, we're going to need to pass the bill. Oh, yeah, you want to pass the bill, you greedy bastards. Well, you basically fucking screw over the engineers. I say the engineers better grow a pair of balls and a pair of titties and basically flee the fucking states, literally. Fucking quit, all of them. Let the railroad workers quit. They'll make a statement. They don't have the fucking workers needed to fucking man the trains. 2 is they couldn't find any capable ones. It'd be like giving the keys to fucking the train to Zoe and saying, Zoe, you drive, or Higgins or Chloe, it'd be like total derailment if you were going too fast. I mean, literally, a train can derail if it's going too fast. I mean, think about it. We'll continue this. Anyone center can slow the process down as timing agreements move along with legislation typically require unanimous consent from all 100 members of the chamber. Bernie Sanders, aiming to Bernie, is an independent who caucused with Democrats, criticized the proposal deal to avert a railroad strike Tuesday. Sanders reiterated his threat to slow down rail measures unless he gets a sick leave amendment voted to it. Sick leave amendment on Tuesday afternoon. You see, this is where a guy stands up. I may not like Bernie, but at least he's got the cojones to turn up and stand up and say, what about the people that are fucking driving those trains constantly, making sure the consumers who suck up more resources in this country than any other country? Why do you think OPEC wants to cut production again? It's not about balancing the oil levels. It's about fucking balancing the consumerism, how much fucking gas we're using. Time of record profits in the railroad industry. Record profits. It's unacceptable that rail workers have zero guaranteed paid sick leave days. Zero. See, you hear that? Zero. It's my intention to block consideration of the rail legislation until a roll call vote occurs on guaranteed 7 paid sick day leaves of railroad workers. I say 15 days a year. Just in case. Plus more in time in case of death. Only one member can delay a quick vote by potentially put off a final action until after December 9th deadline to avert a strike. Yeah, so basically I say keep hammering and delaying it, right? Delay it, and then keep delaying, and then keep delaying, and let the damn railroad guys on strike. The American people would like to see this. I mean, literally, let me just tell you what I think should happen, So apparently Higgins sent me some emails, PDFs. Let me see about these. Higgins sent me a PDF, several links to PDFs. Let me look at these. This is something that we're going to get to. Higgins knows I'm talking about the railroad strike. This is why he's helped me out. So, thank you, Higgins. Let's finish this. Some Republicans are still skeptical of congressional intervention, arguing they would rather the issue be dealt with administratively. Yeah, see? So Biden's saying no, it's a national security thing, I'll tell you 3 theories I have. Actually, a couple theories, but the first one's pretty big, so pay attention. Some Republicans, Maine Senator Collins frequently told that the measure deserves careful consideration over lunch, of all things. I'm going to wait and listen to the debate at lunch today before reaching any conclusion, she said. Well, at least she's made it, got ahead on her, sold her a point. Senator Joni Ernst, a member of GOP leadership, told evaluating the plan. You see, now, you're wondering, what about Congress? What about Congress? What about Congress, right? Yeah. So presidential has this thing for Congress, right? But the thing is there's these so apparently in 1917, the Supreme Court confirmed that Congress has the authority to intervene in railroad labor disputes that threaten to disrupt interstate Congress, following a bargaining impasse and a strike threat that would have affected the entire country. Congress enacted a law that established an 8-hour workday and temporarily regulated the wages for employees. Yeah, 8-hour workday, but now they're working 18 hours. See, it doesn't say anything about this, So basically, they're talking about binding arbitrations and blah, blah, blah. So basically, you guys are curious. What does this mean? Well, let's just say by the love of Higgins, okay, and Iskamor's beard. Sorry, I've been playing a lot of Skyrim, so don't mind me. That, by Jove, that 1926 Congress had enacted 3 major laws that govern labor management relations for private sector and federal employees. An issue of Congress affected these laws employer workers in the nation's economy. Bureau of Labor Statistics estimate 14.5 million were union members. So they're literally stating that the union laws are given powers to Congress. So Congress can force the union The three major labor relations is the Railroad Labor Act, the National Labor Relations Act, and the Federal Service Labor Management Act. All right, so how many pages? 49? Shit. The Railway Labor Act. Higgins, you sent me something too big, man, but thank you. I'm going to download this anyways, read to keep it on hand, okay? The Railroad Labor Act was enacted in 1926. Railway airline carriers, the unions, the aerial area employers' rights to organize, bargain, collectively with their employers over conditions of work, protects them against unfair employer practices. Yeah, and that's what they're doing. They're literally saying, well, we don't give a shit about you. We're not giving you 1 week's sick leave. You can fucking rot and die. One guy basically didn't have any sick leave, and he almost derailed the train, got off. They threatened to fire him. He went to the emergency room, and he died in the hospital of a heart attack. The National Labor Relations Act. Okay, so it says imminent mediation and arbitration. But if they can't agree to it, then Congress gets involved. National Labor Act 35 covers extended to meet most private sector employers are not covered by RLA, like RLA, NLA. Yeah, okay, whatever. So basically, this is just, no one gives a shit about this. What we care about is why Congress has the background. Let's see, yeah, okay, 1926, and it applies to railway and airlines at 35. So the airline is considered a national security problem too. That's why they're basically airline pilots wants more money. For background, okay, so one, it prevents the interruption to commerce or the operation of any carrier. Ensures employees the right to organize and join a labor union. Yeah. So they get their labor union, but now they're told they're slaves to the fucking government who's got to handle everything for the federal government. Hold on, there's 3 more. Sure, railway carriers employees the right to select bargaining representative without interference from the other party. Yeah, they do that. Provide in timely settlement or disputes over rates, pay, rules, working. Yeah, see, the working condition is they are slave drivers. They're basically building the pyramid with an invisible pyramid by driving the train. Think about it. Provide timely settlement of disputes growing out of grievance or interpretation of application exists. Yeah. See, the union contracts is fine, but they're not getting any time off. They're basically a slave. So, First Amendment was 34. And then it says makes an award to dispute a referee, blah, blah, blah. Congress also strengthened the RLA provision allowed carriers employees to select representative freely without interference, which prohibit changing their pay rate. Congress explicitly prohibit carriers from unilaterally changing pay rates, rules, working conditions, and added a status quo provision which prohibits changes of pay rates, rules, and working conditions for 30 days after parties are released from NBC, whatever. The 1936 amendment. Let's see this. What is Higgins sending me now? Oh. Higgins sends me a thing saying he's thinking about buying a gun, right? That's your opinion. Problem with a gun is you got to get through the background check. Apparently, being on SSI, they put you in a special program that says you can't own one, supposedly. That's what I heard, but don't quote me on it. All right, so shall continue. And then there's a Cyber Monday deal. Okay, so can we just speed this up? 36 enacted provisions commercial airlines. Okay, so basically 36, they said, because of it, between 1951 and 81, the subject must congressional action, major change in the Act, file 51 amendment. Amended the RLL carriers and unions inter-union security agreements. Agreement requires employee to pay union dues equal to the cost of rail. Okay. 66 and 81 amendments. Yeah, this is just utter crap. Selected board members unable to agree on neutral party. The image design. Yeah, okay. So national whatever. FAA Modernized Reform Act 2012. Well, okay, here we go. The overview. The RLA seeks to prevent labor management disputes that can interrupt railroad and airline services. It harms the economy, so they're more worried about the fucking economy than these people's rights as human beings. Grant certain rights to both worker and carrier, seek to prevent practice that could frustrate a peaceful worker-carrier relation, and provides mechanism where workers and carriers will resolve. They can't resolve it. The engineers want days off. The airlines want days off, and they're not getting it. They're basically worked as slaves for what? Yeah. Let's see. The provides administration enforcement its provisions, known as a special board of administration. Yeah, okay. Scope of coverage, carriers defined, employers define rights and duties under the law. Rights and duties under the law. See, they're testing this communist idea that you need to work 7 days a week. Think about it. You don't see the communist books that I've read. They want labor unions so they can control, you know. I mean, did you know in England when the Communist Party was coming up with Karl Marx, or the young Karl Marx, it was all about forming labor unions. The third industrial reign. It was the third. The Act grants employees the right to organize and bargain collectively. See, they're bargaining. Of course, now they're being told that they can't bargain because Congress has to intervene. Yeah, okay, so this is about, strikes and worker lockouts are forms of self-help. I'm going to craft a class. LGBT to vote in the secret ballot election. Certification. Decertified bargaining. Prohibited conduct. Organized efforts. Hmm. Minor disputes and major disputes. See, this whole paper that Higgins gave, right? We're on page 1649, doesn't even bring in Congress at all. This is why I think Congress. Here we go. Although carrier and union exercise self-help at the end of the dispute resolution process may determine that an unresolved dispute, that's 8 unions approved, substantially to interrupt interstate commerce, may recommend by the President of the United States to create a Presidential Emergency Board, a PEB. The President create a PEB to investigate the issue, report a dispute within 30 days of its creation. Parties must maintain the status quo upon the creation of PEB for 30 days following the release of its report, unless the parties reach an agreement to the dispute. The dispute is sick days. They can't even get time off for the doctors. Publicly funded and operated commuter rails have different set of PEB procedures. The president decides not to create a PEB under the above-mentioned procedures. Parties of the dispute of the governor of the state through which the commuter rail runs may request the president establish PEB. Parties have not settled within 60 days established of the PEB or NMB requires conduct a public hearing in which the parties explain whether they accept the PEB's dispute resolution recommendation. The parties still have not reached a resolution 120 days after PEB's creation. Then any party or governor of a state through which the commuter rail runs can request a second PEB. What is such a second request? The president must establish a second PEB. The parties must then submit the NMB and offer a settlement within 30 days. PEB has 30 days to report to the president, which offer is final most reasonable throughout the process. Parties may not engage in self-help. For both commuter and non-commuter rails, Congress may intervene on a dispute to prevent a worker's stoppage, or on several occasions, Congress either created another study commission or adopted PEB recommendation, effectively imposing the agreement to all parties by forcing them to work under congressional, Hmm. Again, it's all about elections for the union. Hmm. The legal subject, productive conduct. Halfway through it, by the way. Hmm. Here we go. All right, so it says emergency actions on page 31. When the president believes that a threatened or actual strike or lockout that affects the entire industry, a substantial part of it will endanger national health or safety. Doesn't endanger national health or safety. I mean, literally, it's a railroad strike. It's endangering the people that's driving the trains and working around the clock in the freezing weather. Keep the rail lines going for what? May appoint a board of inquiry and investigate the issue. A board of inquiry can include a chairman of any member that the president chooses. The board then issues a report on the facts of the disputes of the president. However, the report cannot include recommendations. After a report is issued, the president may direct the Attorney General, Merrick Garland, currently, to petition a U.S. district order to order a party to end the strike or lockout. I say let them have their strike. Court finds the activity does indeed affect at least a substantial portion of the industry and threatens national health or safety. It doesn't threaten national health or safety. It will order a party to end the strike or lock. District court's orders may be appealed to a federal court of appeals, which means while the injunction is in effect, the parties in the dispute are encouraged to settle the matter on their own. And the Board of Inquiry reconvenes after 60 days. The board reports the president the current state of relation between parties within 15 days of issuance of the reports. Mm-hmm. Appropriate action to Congress. Yeah. So basically, this is what they're talking about. So, so Higgins' second page. I haven't even checked out the third link yet. Okay. This is so basically he's trying to use Congress to make them slaves. Plain and simple, people. Congress to make them slaves. So they don't get to choose whether they want to work or not. They're being told to go back to work even without any working days. So in some ways, you got to ask yourself, is Bernie Sanders completely right? He is. Yeah. He is completely and thoroughly right. Which does it affect national security? No, it doesn't. So, So that is the second thing to discuss. You see, they're going to force Congress to basically intervene so they can keep the economy flowing. But the economy ain't flowing because look at all our truckers. We don't have enough chassis or refrigeration units to move things across country. And on top of that, you don't see Congress enacting any rules on rationing or whatever since we have a livestock shortage, since we have to kill a lot of our chickens or goats or cows or buffalo or lambs or ducks, everything like that has been completely and thoroughly, you know. Excuse me for 1 second, gotta use the bathroom. Then we'll continue. So the thing is they passed the law giving Congress the ability. Oh, wait, what's this?
YouTube yet, or you haven't started? Right. turkey snacks when I was I might make smashed potatoes to tie me over then.
Apparently it was Lacey.
Okay.
Apparently she broke into the aunt's house.
Oh my.
She was in jail for it. Criminal trespass.
Wow.
Well, hello there, Higgins. So, anyways, I need to check something anyways. So, I got an email that came in too from the welfare office. So, I'd like to see what the welfare office has to say about it. What the hell is wrong with my email? Well, let me into Gmail now. Apparently, my mail checking program doesn't work. Yeah, I read that, Higgins. Basically, I read the railroad thing too. That's all. All right. So apparently Washington's going to give extra food stamps for December. Okay. There we go. That's what emailed me. We'll see this. Yeah, so Higgins emailed me some more links about the railroad thing. So for some of you out there tuning in, Congress is trying to force uh, the railroads to work without sick leave. Or very little sick leave. They want more sick leave and they're not getting it. The other thing, national security is threatened. I say they should just all quit. Plain and simple, let them quit. That's how I see it. So, but anyways, a lot of people said to me, why would you want them to quit? Simple. Then you have a right to keep prepping. I mean, right now, what are you prepping for? Emergencies, natural disasters? Yeah. That's it. You're not prepping for anything else. I will be doing a video later once Chloe's done with chores, so I can show you how to make turkey soup in a crock pot. Plain and simple. So, so that was one of my gripes today. Is they should quit. Now, for some of you out there emailing, some people said to me, "Oh well, about radios, right? People are asking about radios. I'll tell you about radios, okay? Most basic radios scanner radios was designed for police and fire, so that's why they have low bands from like 24 megahertz to 512 megahertz. Anything higher, you're paying more money. But the question is, are you going to basically be listening to things? For example, Higgins got the BC355N. He keeps talking about the SDS 200. The thing is, the SDS 200's a nice scanner, but very expensive. You see, the point being is, there's some coffee. Yeah, I'll get some more. So the point being is anything on base station, basically the starter base stations by Whistler and Uniden base stations, they're all up to 512 megahertz, which means it goes up to 512. It doesn't go any higher. A lot of people have been like, well, we're in a digital area, so what's that mean? Doesn't mean anything. It means the megahertz are still the same. They just want crystal clear clarity, so they're using digital. In some places, like Zoe's city, Cook County, it is encrypted, so you don't know what you're going to get anyways. So basically, that's how it works. So for some of you out there, you say, "Oh well, Rita, what about? Hey, Boon Boon, how you doing, Booner?" Yes, he's not talking to me. Hi, Bun Bun. How are you doing today, baby? Huh? So basically, then people have asked me about the handheld scanners, right? So smaller scanners, the analog handheld scanners, again, the VC75XLT, the 30C, and the 125, they all go up to 512 megahertz. Again, as I was trying to tell Higgins on the phone, he wasn't listening. He was more interested in annoying me about a couple things. Because he wanted to talk to me about his taxes, how they raised his taxes. I was like, yeah. Mm-hmm. So he asked me a couple questions. I answered that. And then we were talking about radios. And the thing, I asked him for reviews. I literally said, look, I would like reviews on scanners, because I'd like to reread them, Now, the handheld scanners by Uniden are all, the analog are all goes up to 512. If you're in an area where you have analog, it'll work for what you need for police and news. Now, if you go up to the base station triple trunking scanners, they go up to 1300 megahertz because they pick up everything. Higgins is like, oh, does your scanner? I don't know if that my scanner does. I can look. So, for example, Higgins is always asking about my radio, like, oh, my husband spent it at the time that was the best scanner on the market. You got trunking. I wanted the Pro something. I think it was a Pro 97 or something, Pro 197 or something. Base stations, it's like 1970s. So that's a no trunking, no digital trunking. Rebranding support, yes. Digital, that one looks cool. Pro 668, can't find them anymore, so let's just go down. Pro 106, Pro 162, Pro 137, Pro 164. Trunking Motorola EDAX 1000 channel goes to 1300 megahertz. That's the 164. The Pro 97 It is a triple trunking analog scanner, 2005. I got it in 2007. It's a 1,000 channel alphanumeric, and it goes to 1,300 megahertz. So, yeah, so mine has all the thing because it's a trunking scanner. Now, Higgins and I was talking about trunking scanners, and I said, unless you really need a trunking scanner, people say to me, well, what's the difference? Trunking scanner is used for businesses mostly. So unless Higgins wants to listen to some business in Lansing, it'd be basically pretty useless. But the most important thing for Higgins on the experiment list is if he can't get anything out of analog in his area, then him and I are going to have to work together to get him a digital trunking scanner, which means, again, the trunking means nothing much. It just means, can you listen to things that you can listen to? Now, he could get the 996 for like $360. Okay, I'm willing to help him get one. The problem is if his radio is getting so much garbled communication, that means he's got to go higher and go to simulcast, which means he's starting on the low end to see if he can listen to anything. If he can't, he goes up to the mid grade, which is, again, is not bad. Apparently, it's an advanced veteran user scanner. And if that doesn't work because of simulcast, he's going to go higher, right? So it all depends on what you need. Now, most people sit there and they hear a salesman. So he's always telling me I'm a salesperson. Oh, you need this, you need that, and you need this, and blah, blah, blah. You need that, and you need this, and blah, blah, blah. Last Wednesday? Hold on, let me look up something here. The newspaper. All right, so the newspaper here, 16th to the 22nd. Okay, escaped chickens. Should say something about breaking and entering. Trespassing. Missing person. Let's see, that was Wednesday. Okay. And it wouldn't be in this week's paper yet. Didn't update it. Citizen dispute. Yeah, this tells you exactly what you're looking for. So it goes up to Tuesday the 22nd, but then go Wednesday the 23rd. So we just got to wait for the latest paper and see what happens there, because there should be more. Yeah. All right. So I did find out, like I said, what happened. Apparently, one of the neighbors broke into another neighbor's house. That was important, Apparently, it's big news out here. Managers got to deal with that, So, anyways, shall we continue with the radios real quick and get done with this so I can start making soup? So basically, when it comes to digital trunking scanners, okay, a lot of people say, well, what if I buy the basic handheld? Well, one is the battery life is not good. Two is it is a digital trunking scanner. But again, unless you're willing to pick up any businesses, the trunking scanner isn't that really good unless you have a reason for the trunking scanner, you're mostly using a digital frequency that's still most likely a lower megahertz, just moved digital so people could use digital, because most handheld scanners, even digital, go to 512. They don't go any higher. Now, base station scanner, like the one I was telling Higgins about, the 996P2, that will pick up everything up to 1300 megahertz. The problem is as Higgins knows, they don't have enough money, um, to enough money, to get it. But at the same time, you need to start out small. Now that would work. The problem again is simulcast. Now simulcast, we had a few questions. Higgins and I were talking. Someone was asking about the database scanners. Those are the ones you put your zip code in, you're done. Apparently this joke was you put the zip code in for zip codes and you're good. And so those are higher megahertz. Now, if you go higher, the 436 HP, that scanner looks beautiful. And and it isn't about the price, it's more about how gorgeous it looks. And a lot of people say that if they had to have one scanner for handheld mode use, it'd be the 436, because it's a database scanner and it'll pull it up. Now I don't know how a database scanner pulls up zip codes, because if you're in 3 counties, I think that you're going to need the USB dongle. But otherwise, a lot of people have said, "Hey, that one's really great. I like it. It's cool." What do you think? Well, it depends on your area. Like for example, what you're going to be using it for. So for example, you have the 536. Again, that's a database scanner. It's $500. Beautiful scanner. Highly recommend it. That would pick up everything. But there's people out there that are like salesmen on radios, right? I mean, literally, I'm still learning about radios, but at least I know a lot more than I did. And like the megahertz, we had to look over. Me and Higgins had to look over the megahertz the other day, realizing I couldn't rest one night. He was getting ready to purchase his basic scanner, and every time he asked a question, I'd have to get off my bed and go get it, and then go back to, and it wasn't easy, it was but anyways, the 436 and the 536, even the 436 handheld model goes up to 1300 megahertz. Same with the 536. Now, the only difference with the 100, the SDS 100, 200 is the 100 is a handheld version of the 200. The problem with it is you only upgrade to the 200 if your region has simulcast. So, for example, if Higgins picks up a regular digital scanning without needing for the police, without needing a simulcast, then he has a 996, then it works. But if he's got garbled transmission with the law enforcement, the EMS, that means he'd have to go to simulcast, which means not only did he just sit there and spend $100 and then send it back, and then spent $360 and send it back, and then went and spent $700, then the problem is, again, unit unlocks the unit with $50 or $75 payments for Pro Voice, NXDN, and DMR. And Higgins really wants DMR. Now, you can go with the Whistler. Whistler's got a removable faceplate. I was trying to tell this. It's a database scanner. The difference with the Whistler is it has Index and DN. It has Turbo Voice. That's like Pro Voice. It has DMR all included in the price of the scanner. So you're getting the flagship model. But a lot of people have said that the screen fails within a year because of the removable thing. They have to send it in, and they're like, don't get a Whistler. A lot of the problems is the screen itself. And, because Whistler is using old GRE built. And so, mine's an old GRE, but mine's been around since 2007. When I got mine, it was my, my husband came home with it, and it made me happy, And, as always said, everyone needs nice things. Never got my diamond ring, though, or diamond earrings, or diamond brooch, or diamond necklace. I used to say, diamonds are a girl's best friend. And he's like, not for you, woman. Love my husband. Anyway, so basically, you got to look at what your scanner is capable of. Now, the frequencies are different. I can pull up a frequency chart again, but I'm just too damn lazy. I have other things to do, like drink coffee and explain to you, my gripe about today's gripe wasn't about Zoe. I'm happy Zoe's got the computer. I'm unhappy that I keep getting Higgins making smart ass jokes about spending more money on higher radios. You need to look at. I mean, I was talking to Dad last night, right? Dad and I were talking about things, right? So I have a scanner that has been programmed to go through the ham channels, right? Now I talked to the ham guy recently about taking the test. He said, sure. Fortunately, the problem with the ham test is not many people are taking it. There's like one person. And yet, apparently the guy was saying that there's not enough people interested in ham anymore because, to them, ham is getting outdated where everyone can communicate on Zoom or Skype or a video service. Two is, Higgins is like, oh, well, I talked to the guy too about Higgins' theory about using ham radios in case the shit hit the fan. He said, yeah, he could use it, but they're going to mark him to know where he is. So as soon as the shit hit the fan's over, they're going to arrest him for using the ham radios, His best bet is to look at the theories and hypotheticals and ask the questions, okay? For one, people sit there and say, well, sure hits the fan, we're going to need to use ham radios. Really? It's like when shit hits the fan, people are going to be using GSRM. Fortunately, the GSRM, people aren't giving their call signs out. So, again, it is not good for GSRM, Mega, it hurts. See, Higgins ain't even with it. Thing is, I talked to Higgins today, like I said, and, Higgins and I'll be honest, always am. I love Higgins as a brother or a sister, and Higgins may be misguided, but I'll tell you one thing. At least Higgins and I tried to dig up content for today's show because, frankly, look what's going on with the railroad strike. I mean, think about it. Higgins and I were looking up info. It's like Congress has literally buried the info unless you have the certain search parameters, which Higgins found. Congress is basically using their powers to force the labor industry, the train industry, to keep working as slaves. Yeah. I mean, literally, excuse me, that wasn't ladylike. They're literally forcing people to be fucking slaves. Yeah. I mean, literally. So when you turn around and you see the radio industry literally being slaves, you got to ask yourself why. It's because they're worried about the economy. That's all they did. Watch West Wing. You'll see them talking about, we're worried about the oil pricing going up or down. Keep an eye on the Nikkei. Keep an eye on what happened to, everyday things in the White House. Instead, they're worried about the economy. It's not a national security threat for the railroad engineers to strike. If the railroad engineers made a statement, they would turn around and say, fuck you, Congress. I mean, look, here's the theory I have about the railroad industry. I was going to tell Higgins this, but Never got to it because I was so busy trying to get things moving today for my soup, my video done. Talk about radios. That was something that Higgins and I were talking about doing anyways, as a short thing on radios today, due to the fact that, people are saying, well, what's the difference by regular trunking and non-trunking? Well, let me put it to you this way, okay? But let's talk about the theory first, okay? There's a lot of Republican middle-aged to mid-class or working class Republicans that should stand up with a pair of balls and say, we're not taking this shit. We are quitting. They don't care if they're making a living flipping burgers. They probably got money saved aside anyways in their bank accounts. Driving trains for so long. They don't care if they cripple the country because frankly that's the only thing they can do. Think of it. So people pay higher fuel prices, pay higher gas prices, higher whatever taxes. And yet, the American people, hold on a sec. Hey, Mop Mop. I get Mop Mop. I get Mop Mop. Oh, yeah, you're looking at me like, you got Mop Mop. No, I don't got Mop Mop. Mop Mop is sitting Mop Mop is sitting right there. Yeah, hey, Mop Mop. I get the Mop Mop. Mop Mop. Come here, Mop Mop. The Mop Mop. Boop, boop, boop. Boop, 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 boop. I got the Mop Mop. Look at that cute face. Oh, yeah. He's got that face with the cheeks right now that say, I get payment. Oh. What's up, Krabby? Krabby McMop Mop? Come here. Oh, yeah. You're so cute. Come here. Boop. There we go. And what would you like for Christmas, little one? Well, Santa, I want lots and lots of dog treats. Lots and lots of dog treats. You want lots and lots of doggy treats. Lots and lots of doggy treats. Lots and lots of doggy treats. Really, is that all you want? With dog treats, huh? Don't you want something more than just dog treats? Doggy treats, Santa. Doggy treats. You gotta have doggy treats. Hey everyone, how are you today? So Mommy Rita took a picture for me. Sent it off to Aunt Tara. She said, oh, how cutie. She sent one to Zoe. Zoe ignored me. You can't ignore the Moppy. The Moppy is so cute. Treats, Mommy. I'm not feeling too well. I think that pie went bad. Bad pie. But I got you to love, so. So, you want Toot, huh? Yeah, Mama Fanny bought them for you, so we might as well give you a couple in your gullet today. He had 7 yesterday, so he gets limited today. I only got 7. My mommy was gonna take me to the pound and it didn't want me anymore. I didn't say that. I said you couldn't have any more treats. That's the same thing. Oh, a little grumpy. Yeah, let me get you a treat. So for the rest of you out there, like I said, everyone, I gotta slowly get the there it is. Slowly get the thing ready to roll. There you go. Uncle Higgins is watching. Uncle Higgins is watching, but he's not paying attention. So, anyway, so the railroad strike. Okay, the first theory is the Republicans drive the trains and run as highly skilled workers. It's time for the Republicans to say enough's enough and do a railroad strike or quit. I mean, literally, if the country is more interested in goods and services that consumers consume, then what's the fucking point of the consumers turning around and literally See, the consumers, they're worried about only what the consumers can buy. So the train drivers, the truck drivers, the railroad workers, the airline workers, they're all slaves to the country. They're slaves to the infrastructure. You don't see people literally turning around and buying stuff that they only need. I mean, you know how many people can basically sit there and buy things that they need or they utilize, but they don't buy anything more than what they need. For example, people consume phones every 1 to 2 years. Phones get traded in, they get refurbished, sent off to another country. Or in this country, as a refurb. Meanwhile, people don't utilize everything they have. They sit there and, you see, the railroad industry and the airline industry and whatever Congress is basically going to pull up their sleeve is basically making the American people slaves. Slavery. Yeah, slavery. Now, what happens? I'm a big advocate to human rights, right? I may not like things like the trans community or what the hell? Okay. So apparently the website was freaking give me hell. There we go. Basically, I wanted to share with you something that out of love for you all. That everyone needs to realize. Wow. It's like scrolling through this, and I was like, oh yeah, and then it's like, nope, not gonna happen. Wouldn't be prudent, you know. People sit there and they say to me, what wouldn't be prudent? Yeah. Just trying to see what's going on, So Anyways, there you go. Nothing new. So, anyways, so basically they're making them slaves, okay? So the railroad industry should basically pick up, stand up, and say not enough's enough and go from there. Literally. So with that said, you know, um, it is what it is. So, anywho, it is what it is. So, I just wanted to say, that the railroad should completely quit. That makes a statement. People say, oh, and then you can use your preps. It's not about using my preps. It's about basically human rights and the decency. They don't have respect. They drive long haul trains. Oh, it'll take 467 truck chassis a day to move cargo around. Really? And our diesel supply would be short. Wow, we would be out of diesel, and we don't have enough truck chassis. If the government contract instead of spent uh, billions of dollars on aircraft carriers, we could spend enough money to build warehouses and a factory to make it. We could have several states in the union give great paying jobs, union jobs to make truck chassis, and we would never have this problem again. We could use the trucking system. I mean, literally, but no, we gotta use the trains. We gotta rely on the trains. Mm-hmm. Plain and simple. What you can say? Yeah, well, feel free to eat your cheese and crackers. I'm out of here. I mean, literally, my thing is, I've made my point. Coffee time with Rita is done. I'm kind of half out of it, half tired. Don't know if I want to put TV in tonight or take a nap or whatever. I feel like Zoe tonight, actually. Zoe's like, I'm going to go take a nap. You know what, Zoe, I'm with you there. I mean, literally nap before making crock pot because I'm up to like 7 anyways in the morning. So taking a nap would be just fine anyways. Higgins, he could do what he wishes, but me, a short quickie of a nap would help me out immensely because I'm still tired. I don't even know what time I went to bed last night. That's the thing. I looked at my game time and it was like, what, 6:30 or something? And my stomach's not doing too good again, and I'm sick, so I think my body needs a rest because I'm sick. So sad. Doggy probably got hit by a car. Anyways, with that said, everyone, um, thanks for tuning in. Like I said, I don't have much to say. The railroad should go on strike. They should be allowed to go on strike. They should, if they can't go allowed on strike, they should quit and make a point. It doesn't matter what the government thinks anymore. The government, in my opinion, doesn't care about anything but the damn economy. And the economy is already globally hit worldwide, so why even worry about it, right? Right. So, uh, I will maintain information up and down on nuclear war and railroad strikes, banking collapse, which, by the way, Higgins didn't tell me, so I better check this for us all. I mean, people are all panicking. The Dow Jones went up again, so 3 points today. See, I mean, literally. So it went up 3 points. I mean, literally. I mean, people shouldn't be complaining. The stock market's rebounding. So anyways, that's what I want to say to you all. Is thanks for tuning in. Um, so if you have any questions or comments, feel free to send me an email. It's in my About Me page. Otherwise, you guys have a wonderful day. And, if you have any suggestions for videos, feel free to post it. We are trying to be more open-minded or what's that word Bono used the other day? We're trying to um, diversify due to the fact that, right now there's nothing coming down the pipe and everyone is, talking about prepping, and a lot of people have asked me about prepping, radios or prepping of whatever. And the point is, it's all up in your hands what you want to do. So, so we're diversifying. Who knows what happens? I mean, if they go on strike, then they could go to jail, apparently, or be shot because they're causing the economy to cripple. The problem is, Higgins, he's trying to keep me here. Problem is the railroads, basically, if you read the documents like I have, they're literally told that they will be forced to work under a government-controlled contract for 5 years that may or may not have the plan for them to have the days off needed or the sick days. People get sick, but they don't care. They're like, oh, the economy is more important in your life. If you die in the duty of driving a train, then think of it. You served your country. Yeah, that's what it is. They just want you to serve your country and work till you're dead. I mean, literally, that's the way it works for the country currently. I mean, think about it. Yeah. And then, so that's what they're trying to do. The thing is, 8 out of 12 unions agreed. The 4 unions holding it back is basically sitting here basically angry because they can make a deal. Unfortunately, government's trying to basically strong arm them. Like, oh, well, December 6th, December 9th coming real quickly. We're going to strong arm you and force you, Thing is you got till December 6th or December 9th. I mean, literally. Oh, yeah, December's coming up really quick, so we have to get it done. I mean, look. The economy is they're forcing labor on airline pilots and airlines. Oh, they're national, really? An airline is a national security problem? No, it isn't. An airline just goes like this, takes people mostly, some packages. How is that a national security threat? Then you have the problem with the railroads. Oh, well, it's a national security risk. Yeah, it's because they're worried because they don't have enough fucking truck chassis because they spend billions of dollars in aircraft carriers and thinking our veterans don't mind basically working on a carrier. But the truth is we don't have enough diesel fuel and gasoline in this country right now. So why should we even worry? I mean, literally, Higgins was talking the other day about taking a trip up to his family's cabin. Go for it, Higgs. You can afford the gas. I personally wouldn't even leave. But point is, they could go to jail. They could be, fined. They could be, whatever. I mean, look, the railroad union was going on strike, and Truman literally said he was going to draft all the railroad people working the railroad at the time into the military. Draft them in the military if they didn't work. I mean, even on Truman's campaign, he's on this train, right? Before they had planes. And the planes were only used a certain thing. The train's going around, right? The train stops. And he's having this party. So he gets out and he asks. And this guy, one of Truman's cronies, said, well, why did you stop? And he says, this train don't move until I get paid. And the guy says, you'll get paid soon enough. You should be honored to drive this train. And he says, doesn't matter if it's the presidential train. So then Truman had this idea. It was true. He walked in. He says, "Now I know we want a campaign. We want to keep going, and I don't like to beg, but here, pass along and donate what you can." So all of a sudden, this hat was filled with cash with his donors. And he goes and says, "Here you go. Here's the money for driving the train. Keep driving it." So the engineer said, "You're the same guy who wants to draft us in the military. So I don't drive train unless I get paid." And in the end, Truman had to do an underhanded tactic to get donations to pay the driver to take him to his campaigns. I mean, literally. And that is a freaking fact. Yeah. Hello, mommy. Hello, mommy. Hello, mommy. Hello, mommy. Hello, mommy, 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 mommy. Hello, mommy. So, anyways, Chloe's waiting for dinner. I can't hold up dinner. Higgins can't hold me up for dinner. I'm going to relax the night away. And hopefully after my nap, I'll feel better. I'm not feeling too well right now. I'm feeling sluggish, tired. So, anywho, you guys get the idea. So, anyways, I'm like Zoe tonight. I need a nap, and I'm going to take a nap. And he's going to eat his cheese and crackers. Sounds pretty good to me. I wouldn't mind some of those. What do they call them? Those Lunchables? With crackers and cheese. That's a good source of protein. So tomorrow, if me and Higgins will probably email me throughout the night about ideas for tomorrow's video. A lot of people are going to probably email me. They do email me, and they'll be basically barbecue me about why I think the railroad should go on. So it's simple. They're not getting what they need. They're treated as cattle, basically. They're treated as baby poppers. You supply babies and you produce. That's it. Thing is there are human beings that need time off from work. Look at me. I need time off from YouTube. So the best course of action is to take a short nap. So there you have it. I keep yawning. So I might be back after my nap to show you how to do soup in a crock pot. So with that said, everyone, please add and subscribe. Please post comments, leave feedback, suggestions, like subscribe button. So it's fun for the family, including your dogs, your cats, your bunnies, your service dogs, your service bunnies. Hit the bell notification. Hit the thumbs up button. Hit the subscribe button. Just keep the comments nice. That's all we ask. Thank you, and God bless you in everything you do.